Awesome. Great. Well, I think we are live. Let's change the name so I'm not labeled as Grant. Here we go. Well, I think we are live. And there we go, folks. Welcome to the PlayerMint Town Hall number 20. We are about to get things going here, and we'll pass that out to everybody in the Discord. Great. Well, so hey, everybody. Welcome. We are going to be going over all of the fun development updates that PlayerMint has in store, what we've been up to from a development perspective, what we've been up to from a Project Catalyst perspective, and overall what we've just been up to and some fun events that we have planned for the week to come. So let's hop right on in, and I'll start sharing my screen. We can go from there. Great. So welcome everybody, PlayerMint Town Hall number 20. We're going to be diving into all sorts of fun topics today. My name is Aiden and I'm one of the founders of the project, and I work a lot on the product and experience design and all that fun stuff. And so today I'm going to be walking you all through what's been going on with Mlabs, the development group that we've been working with regarding our full tech stack, any testnet stress testing, a lot of words with test and stressing there, but we're going to be doing some fun stuff in that regard. What's going on with the Overwolf client that you will be using in order to track your gameplay performance. What's going on over at Project Catalyst. We all know that we're in the middle of Fund 9. What an important time it is. So what's been going on over there? The Catalyst Festival, which is something that'll be a lot of fun that you get to participate in next week. And then, of course, some standard community events. We're going to be hopping on through all of this. And then once I'm done with all of that, I'm going to be opening it up for a little bit of questions. I'll be taking a peek at the chat. And if anyone has something that they want to say or ask or anything of that nature, you're welcome to do so then or during the video. And if you'd like to, I can take a peek and then answer at the end. Great. So in terms of the Mlabs Testnet update, if you've seen the video that I posted across our socials, you might get a sense of what's going on here. But generally speaking, there are in the IOG Cardano world, they have been producing a few different testnets since the kind of Vassal era has been coming about. And so the first one is called the Preview Testnet. And this is essentially a testnet that previews the next upgrade to Cardano so that people that are building onto the Cardano mainnet already or want to have a stable version of their dApp for when the mainnet hard forks and upgrades, they can build on the testnet, the Preview Testnet. And the other one is the Pre-Production Testnet. And that is just one that works to, that's just one that works to match the Cardano mainnet one-to-one. So that's going to be a whole lot of fun and all of that cool stuff. So we've been getting all ready and deployed on there, and we're going to make sure that all of the wallets that are essentially interacting with these testnet environments are able to support those testnets as well. So we're going to be going with the Preview Testnet and making sure that we're going to be all Vassal compliant for when we switch over to mainnet, so that we can have a nice easy transition instead of needing to go to the pre-production testnet and then swap over to the Preview Testnet once we're ready to hard fork. So anyways, we're getting all ready there, and that's going to be a ton of fun. Other than that, we have some great news that as we've been deploying to the Preview Testnet, we have seen success in the initialization contract. You can think of this as the contract that mints PMX onto the Cardano blockchain. So that's been all super successful. And so right now, the Mlabs team is essentially going through every single other of our contracts that relate to the attribution of PMX based off of gameplay performance in the marketplace, facilitation of trading. All of those are being tested right now to make sure that they work. And then once that's complete, it's just about some user interface updates that we need to make just to make things a little bit more clean and a little bit more polished. But beyond that, it'll be testnet time, and we'll be launching into the Preview Testnet as soon as all of these items are wrapped up. There is something that we're going to be going through a bit first before we bang on the doors of the Cardano community and try to get everybody to hop on in and try out the application in its testnet form. And that one thing that we're doing, and as you can see by this rather animated graphic, is this testnet stress testing. So the stress testing is all about, we want to basically say, hey, we have a few buttons on our sites that start interacting with the Cardano blockchain, like when you list your NFT for sale or when you go off and claim your PMX. And so we want to make it so that these buttons can survive under massive, massive, massive amounts of pressure because we are using a transaction or smart contract loader called the Cardano Transaction Library. And this loader has seen its first use cases, and PlayerMint will be one of the first projects to use it. And so in an effort to help ourselves and help our buddies over at Mlabs, we want to make sure that all of our smart contracts have been super tested, and that essentially if we can get 50 people to try to claim PMX all at the same time, and 75 people all trying to list NFTs at the same time, we'll make sure that the platform can kind of withstand the stress tests that will occur once we actually go into the mainnet environment or just the public testnet environment. And so we're going to be doing this with a group of our community members. Who knows, maybe that'll be you. And we'll be kind of just tapping on the shoulder through maybe a DM or something like that and saying, hey, come and help us out with some stress testing. And then we'll be sure to share it with the rest of the Cardano community once we know things work, because we don't want to send the entire Cardano community to a testnet that fails instantly. And now that is the reason of testnets, as we all know, with the recent testnets on Cardano, when words like catastrophic error are included, people might get the wrong impression. So moving forward, that is what we're going to be doing with the testnet. Of course, we do have the Overwolf client. And for those of you that don't know, with PlayerMint, we're this play to earn platform where your gameplay performance is monetized and you used it to mine cryptocurrency. But we need to have a authentic and secure way in which we can understand what is your gameplay performance in the titles we support. The first one being Fortnite. And so how can we make sure that we have all of the proper licensing and security purposes in order to actually reward people based off of gameplay performance? And luckily, there's this great service called Overwolf, which essentially facilitates that whole process. So what Overwolf does is they go off and they get permission from big, game development studios like Fortnite or like Epic Games, and they say, hey, we want to create a Fortnite API. Can we get your licensing approval to allow third parties to utilize this API to build their own applications that are extensions of your games? And so that's what Overwolf does. And we've gone through them in order to make sure that we have all of the kind of proper licensing purposes in order to utilize these APIs with Fortnite, and so that we're kind of going through a trusted party as opposed to one of the APIs that doesn't really have that same level of write-off or the thumbs up from Epic Games. So with Overwolf, it is this kind of custom client that people can install onto their PCs. And then what it does is it can track their gameplay performance. And then the other beautiful thing about it, and this is something that we aren't going to launch with the MVP, but maybe later down the line, is that you can have a overlay. And with that overlay, you can do wonderful things like, okay, hey, every time you do an action that generates PSP, which is used to determine how much PMX you get rewarded with, we can have a little animation that says, okay, you just got an elimination, that's plus 20 PSP. Here's your total PSP for the Epic versus the total PSP you've ever generated. And we can kind of use overlays and create interesting kind of experiences in that regard. And then, of course, other mechanisms as well when we get into kind of the Web3 space, and then how that same overlay can then kind of spread its wings across multiple different game titles would be really, really cool. And so showing off the custom installer that we've kind of designed through the Overwolf brand instructions, and that we sent over to them in order to get the approval. And then we can have our own custom client that we can use to start tracking gameplay performance, and of course reward people for doing so. So of course, this is just kind of the standard home page. We got some cool crypto logos. And then from here, as the client is downloading, you can kind of see, we have the overall rewarding gaming experience of PlayerMint. So first, of course, you have the capacity to play Fortnite Arena mode. And then once you've played your Fortnite Arena mode, you can earn crypto from our website based off of your performance. And then, of course, you have a variety of NFTs in which you can then spend that crypto across this NFT marketplace. So this is kind of what it will look like as people are getting booted up and already with Overwolf, which is going to be really, really exciting because I think it'll get people kind of jazzed to get into the game, play a bit of Fortnite, get a lot of eliminations and high-ranking placements, and then know that, hey, there might be a Clay Nation or a Space Bud or an Overexposed waiting for me on the NFT marketplace. For once I claim it, I can go off and pick that up. So that's gonna be super exciting. And then of course, just kind of the standard, hey, you're ready to go, hit that launch button and start earning some crypto. So that's gonna be really fun. I'm pretty jazzed about all of that. Now we're hopping into the Project Catalyst side of things. So that was just kind of overall our development updates. We'll be sure to keep everyone posted as to when we're able to get something in front of them regarding a testnet and what that will all look like. And we'll have a whole lot of fun with that stress testing and then opening it up to everyone in the Cardano community before moving over to the mainnet. So that'll be a lot of fun. In terms of Catalyst Fund 9, this is a super hot topic and something that we're putting in a ton of effort into. So we have 4 proposals submitted into Project Catalyst Fund 9 across 3 different challenges. And so there's over almost, as you can see, my cat's whiskers are deciding to poke through. There is 194,000 that we're asking for, but this is going to the development of PlayerMint and a few other fun things that we think are really going to help out the community. So let's hop right on in. So the first one is just a general funding request for the development purposes of PlayerMint. So what can we achieve with the $85,000 that we're requesting here is just further development funding in order to increase the cadence at which PlayerMint is deploying. So essentially just funding for general development across the board for a couple of different fun things. Beyond that, we have the fungible token contracts. These are a really, really fun one that I think is going to help out a lot of the community in the space regarding anyone that is minting a Cardano native asset. And so this is the idea that, PlayerMint really believes in decentralization and the, hey, give back to the blockchain that you're building on. And so we want to deploy our marketplace contracts into an open source environment if we are able to achieve this funding and then go off and use those open source contracts and contact other people like JPG Store and Carta Hub and Epic Art and Genesis House, all of the other great NFT marketplaces, and basically just say, hey, let's give everyone the capacity to support fungible tokens for NFT trading. So why not? I think it'll be rather beautiful. Then every NFT can be traded with every fungible token, and all of a sudden, all the people that love Clay token can go off and be purchasing Clay Nation tokens with Clay, or hey, all of the wonderful people in the Yummy Universe world can use their Yummy tokens in order to trade Narus. Or hey, if you want to use some Hosky token and sell the floor on some Hosky NFTs, why not? So that's kind of what we're going for there. This funding would really be going towards making sure that the contracts are completed. Like right now, I said we're testing them out on the preview testnet, making sure that they work on the preview testnet, making sure that they work on the Vassal hard fork mainnet when that occurs on the 22nd, 12 days. Wow, that's pretty wild. And then once we make sure that all of those work and that they've stood the test of time and we don't see any errors or bugs in that code, we feel very confident in the level of security that code provides. Then we can go about open sourcing them and reaching out to all these marketplaces in the hopes that they'll support these fungible token smart contracts. And in doing so, a little bit for our own expansion of utility for PMX. Also saying, hey, here are the contracts. If you'd like to, we can test them out on your platform with PMX. We know it works well. So we can have a whole lot of fun with that. The final proposal that we have that is requesting for funds specifically for us, as the gamer did. This is a project that we're collaborating with the awesome people in the DID community called Proofspace. So we're working with them to essentially create a gamer DID. And that might be an overly complex way to look at it, but essentially a piece of identification that is tied to a person's wallet and their gaming history. So no personal information in this DID, simply that the overall gaming community, like if anyone here has played CSGO or just Fortnite arena mode, you might notice someone there's a prevalency of what are called Smurfs or malicious actors. And these people, what they'll do is they're very high level players. And what matchmaking systems will do in these games is they'll say, you know, hey, if you're a high level player and based off of your history, you're a high level player, let's put you against other high level players. But what these people will do is for their own reward, whether that's just through, you know, personal fun or for an actual beneficiary reward, like in a play to earn sense, or in CSGO where you can win crates that are worth actual money that have cosmetic skins in them. These players will Smurf and they'll create a new account and then essentially start from the easiest level and work their way up, and they're already super high skill playing against super low skill players. And so the idea behind this is well, hey, what if we created some sort of trust score on a gamer based off of their gaming history? So if they've played a lot of hours of games and they have different metrics in those games, and they just have a lot of, you know, gaming based data associated with their gaming accounts that they've already authenticated through PlayerMint, we can have some sort of trust score that says, okay, hey, this person is more or less trustworthy, and then that trust score can have some level of impact on their rewarding. And so the idea here is not that it's going to be standalone for PlayerMint, but rather we believe that this is going to be an issue across the play to earn industry. How do we essentially negate malicious actors? Because these people's reason for doing this is that they have this you know, personal or monetary incentive in order to become a malicious actor and Smurf or hack. And then when they hack, they just create a new gaming account. But how can we essentially use their incentive to want to gain money and generate revenue for themselves in our favor? And that being through this gaming did, where the idea is that you can have it be more rewarding to be a trustworthy gamer with a long history rather than a gamer who constantly churns out new video game accounts. And so a portion of this budget is going to Proofspace, and a portion of the budget would be going to Mlabs, our developers, in order to kind of just complete out some of the coding required in order to make sure that Proofspace can get the intel that they need regarding Epic Games accounts. So that's that proposal. The last proposal we have is not a request for funds at all, but rather a challenge setting. So in Project Catalyst, the decentralized nature of it is that you want to allow the projects that are submitting proposals to these different challenges like dApps and integrations and developer ecosystem to also create the challenges of the next fund. And so what PlayerMint has been doing with a few other wonderful parties that are focused on the gaming space is created a challenge dedicated to gaming-based projects. So instead of a bunch of gaming-based projects that do wonders for onboarding and fun experiences on the Cardano blockchain, and of course all the amazing applications in the DeFi space that do wonders for showing off the technology and what can happen with crypto, if we don't have to have the two compete with one another, we think that that's a little bit better, just because a lot of the funding for these things tends to go down the DeFi route, and which makes a lot of sense. DeFi is an extremely wonderful advancement that is really only possible in blockchain, so it makes sense that funding is going there. But we think that with gaming, you're looking at massive user acquisition. All of these gamers that voluntarily already participate in virtual economies can now be kind of pulled into the virtual economy of the blockchain and actually have some support on a decentralized permissionless ledger. And the hope is that we can kind of push people to create wonderful gaming experiences that NFTs are integrated in that make them more enjoyable as opposed to less enjoyable and kind of cash grab. So we're going to have a 850K ADA allocation towards this challenge if it gets successfully voted in, and then a bunch of the gaming-based projects can submit their proposals there, and the hopes that they can achieve funding and then use that funding to go off and bring more gamers into the Cardano ecosystem. So Fund 9 is currently going on. If you've registered to vote, you can go off in your Catalyst mobile app. If you want to check out any of these proposals, if you just hit that search bar button on the proposals tab, just search up PlayerMint, you'll be able to find every single one of the proposals I just talked about. And feel free to read through the entire thing, come into the Discord, ask questions. And if you seem to like it, you can give it an upvote that you can then cast. Or if you seem to not like it, you can give it a downvote and then cast that. So whatever you think is logical and reasonable based off of the information provided here and within those proposals. But anyways, fun stuff going on in the world of Catalyst. So in order to kind of generate a lot of attention and hype and interest, not only in our own projects, in our proposals, but also in the other projects that we've kind of been in contact with, we're currently working on creating something called the Catalyst Festival. A huge shout out to Anthony for kind of putting a lot of this together, as well as the folks over at Duo. They're also doing a huge help of kind of organizing all this. As you can imagine, it's probably not very easy to organize a bunch of different projects that all have their own development cadence and a bunch of other things on their to-do list. And so we want to do a kind of Catalyst Festival where, as you can see, every single day of next week, we want to have some sort of fun event planned in order to kind of just get the word out that it's important to participate in Project Catalyst. You get a vote with your ADA and you get rewarded for doing so. So you might as well participate. We have a couple different projects that are interested, as well as a couple different ideas for things that we're going to do each night. We're locking in some of the times and other people that are going to be participating in this now, but we have some cool people. Some of these names might be changed, removed, added, but we'll see what happens. And as soon as we have everything confirmed, we'll be sure to make that announcement so that everyone can kind of put in their calendars what they're going to be able to participate in the Catalyst Festival. Which, who knows, maybe we can make this a kind of fund by fund occurrence that PlayerMint and other wonderful projects can contribute to, in the hopes that we really encourage the decentralized governance on Cardano, as well as allowing people to support the projects that they believe in without actually needing to give them any of their own ADA, but rather just vote with their ADA and then actually get rewarded for doing so. From there, we also have a standard set of community events that we hold every single week. Of course, this next week, it might be a little off, but we tend to hold these every single week, and we've done so for quite a while. On Thursdays, we like to hold a trivia night that generally occurs around 8 p.m. EST, and those are a ton of fun. Usually, we'll have a sponsor each week that'll kind of sponsor with different groups, and so that's been a ton of fun. And then we also, on Fridays, we'll have the Cardano After Dark buddies. We'll play some poker with them, which is really great. And so generally we'll get like 20 to 30 people in these poker nights, and it's a lot of fun. And you can either listen into myself, Josh, Anthony, and whoever our sponsor is, or whoever the other interested parties that are playing chess talk about different things. Like yesterday, we were diving into Bitcoin mining, useful proof of work based off of Charles Hoskinson's video, Bitcoin's impact on the climate, and how it can effectively turn any source of electricity into essentially a monetizable unit of Bitcoin, and how, as long as you have electricity at any point, you can essentially sell that electricity for Bitcoin through mining. And so that's really, really cool. And we've had wonderful discussions, and Josh apparently got some nice messages saying that what we were talking about was actually interesting. It wasn't just rambles and rants. So that's great. And then that final item, Chess with AI Scholars Today, I will not lie, that is a bit of a typo. So we'll just pass on with that one. But anyways, that seems to be the end of the town hall. I've been talking here for like 20 or so minutes about what's going on in the PlayerMint world. And I think now it's time to see if any of you all have any questions as to what we got going on. And if you don't, that's no worries at all. Maybe you're watching this video in a month from when it's recording on the September 10th of 2020. And if that's the case, feel free to jump into our Discord that you can find on our website, playermint.com, and ask questions. Whatever comes to mind, we're happy to answer it. Maybe it's about PlayerMint, maybe it's about butterflies, maybe it's about the best way to create a cheesecake. I don't know, whatever it is, feel free to come into the PlayerMint Discord and we can have a nice chat about it all. But at the current moment, since we're done with the presentation, I'm just going to take a wonderful little peek at the YouTube channel and see if we have any questions. But it seems like we are pretty good to go. We got a wonderful comment from Case saying, never seen a project work so hard, destined for greatness. Yeah. No, we're definitely trying to work hard, get things done, and so we're having a whole lot of fun with it. I mean, a lot of the team members, and at least a lot of us are gamers, and like Josh, myself, and Grant, we've been playing WoW, and we've also played some Split World together. So we like to do some gaming, and the team even put on a fantasy football draft. And I'm not inclined towards football at all, but it's been a lot of fun to dive into that, and we have a fun little, not so enjoyable reward for the person who seems to lose, and you'll probably see that whoever loses, you'll be sure to check their Discord profile picture for some fun imitations of NFT based imagery of a generative trait. We're going to try to make the loser of the fantasy league have to wear some sort of set of, you know, cowboy hat, maybe a necklace, and some sort of thing to make them look like a generative art PFP that they have to throw across their Discord account. This is going to be a lot of fun. But beyond that, it seems like we're probably good to go. Yeah, it seems like we're probably good to go. I don't think we have any other things going on in the space or any other comments. So what we'll do from here is I'll kind of wrap up the event. We can kind of have a whole lot of fun. And like I said, if you have any questions or thoughts about this after it's recording, feel free to leave a comment or reach out on Discord. We'll be sure to get you all sorted. So thank you all so much. And please have an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Please enjoy. Go have a fun day. Go explore. Go play some video games or